correct. So guys, how are you doing? How is this morning treating you? I am actually, I don't know, something is giving me off. I'm not feeling that great today. Of course, maybe my sleep actually is not done, I guess. So that's the reason probably I'm feeling a bit of low on energy, but that's okay. That's part and parcel of life. I will be okay when you guys join in the stream, and maybe you will be talking to me, and that is when we can get in touch. So that's okay. Just a sec. I have something that is popping up here. So what's up, guys? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm not able to somehow. Yeah, I think now it's fine. So anybody joining in from any place, you're welcome to ask me anything. So I will be opening my chat GPT. So this looks like this is totally kind of looks like a scam kind of a thing for me, honestly speaking. All this while in every in every app, I mean not app, on every website, on every platform or source, it was mentioned that the price is going to shoot at $5. It's going to go to $6, $5, $4, whatnot. But I am seeing a totally different scenario for Sui, honestly speaking, and I'm like totally shocked as well as very upset with the fact that it looks like as if I feel like as if I've been scammed into the thing. Like, there were so many good predictions about it, that it will shoot, rocket shoot. I understand there was a hack behind it, and if that hack has actually impacted the overall performance of it, or if the tariffs which were imposed recently by Donald Trump, that has, but definitely more or less I know for a reason that these capitalist people, the influential people, the whales in the market are always influencing these markets, and at the end it's basically the retail investors, the small investors like us basically, who get suffered. And I really feel bad for all of us, because after all, whales are becoming whales, but then what about the people who are basically who are just starting out, or who are just having very minimal capital to begin with, and people who are not even having any money and who are just starting with the basic money are actually suffering loss and having so less to get from it. So these are the challenges which retail investors, for sure, retail traders face on a day-to-day basis by the whales and the whale movement. So sorry about that. So let's see what all these channels has to say about it. Yes, last time also I have referred to all of them. Now I've lost total faith in them, guys. I know in the last month some of the predictions got it became true, but some of them didn't really become true. That is what has happened. But coming to the overall, if I talk about the way, so sorry. So coming to whatever the way these platforms have actually said about this particular project, but the way it is going, I am totally upset and I'm totally not okay with whatever is going on. I'm still wondering whether this was all part of marketing strategy, which people obviously they have to market the product, right? I mean, if you keep saying that it is going to be performing well, if it is going to be doing well, then obviously the prices are going to shoot up and people are going to invest into it and things like that will happen. But because it didn't perform the way it had to perform, I'm actually still confused whether this was just part of the overall maybe marketing kind of a thing, but there was no factual information or anything real associated with it. That is what I feel. And at this moment I feel so bad, and I'm really very, very sorry guys. In case, I know I keep giving this disclaimer many times that whatever I talk about in my streams are not financial advice or investment advice, so you have to do your own research. That's what I keep telling you, right? So I'm continuing to say that only because, trust me, this is a live example for all of us to understand that crypto markets are so unpredictable. They are so unreliable also, I can say, because the moment, one moment it is something, one moment it is something else, and the amount of hacks, the amount of scams, the amount of every wrong thing that happens on this is very, very uncertain, and where for a shorter term the money looks so nice and good, but at the same time the more you are into this market and the more you understand the mentality of the people and everything, you can find that it has so many glitches out there, it has so many flaws out there, it has so many problems out there, which definitely impacts us overall. While in few days we might be able to earn some little profits out there, but there will be days where you will be totally washed out in terms of not understanding where it is heading. Like for example, just about on before 22nd of May, I invested into Sui because the predictions for it looked so well. Trust me, each one of these resources now, which I'm going to again refer to, like Coin Codex, Coin Market Cap, Coinpedia, FitPay, Sui, Coin D6, all these including Economic Times, all of them are predicting that the price will shoot up $5, $6. And obviously looking at the predictions, I'm sure each one of us, including me, would have invested into it, hoping for a brighter future. But then boom, what happens? The very next day we see that there is a hack that's happening on the particular platform, which takes away all the effort that we put in. So I have actually tirelessly sat in front of the screens, watching them, watching the movement, watching the way it was going, everything I did in my power, and then I was hoping that the prices will shoot up, within a shorter period of time, which I did obviously get the opportunity also, but then I think that opportunity did not last for a longer time. Probably in split of seconds, everything happened, up, down, and then boom, it was gone. So it was basically that kind of a scenario altogether for me. And then now all of a sudden we see that the scam actually impacted the overall performance of it. Now, one thing which I really want to understand, and I myself sometimes very not too sure about it, that are these scams really scams, or these are some kind of things that the crypto markets or the big players out there, they do this, the whales in the crypto markets do this deliberately to bring a price movement. These will be the questions for any retail traders or retail investors out there. I'm sure each one of us, including maybe me also, I also get these doubts sometimes. Probably is this part of some kind of marketing tactic, or is this part of some kind of whale influences and things like that? And I really feel upset about it, because although as retail investors or traders we make all the cautious decisions, we make all the right decisions of entering the market at right prices and things like that, but we see that these kind of things happen, and then it takes us for a ride, which is very, very annoying, honestly speaking. So now you can see, just about like maybe 5 days ago also it was saying it's going to hit $5 this dollar. Now let's see this. The current price is at 3.17. The price prediction is at 2.43. It's like a minus 24.61% of decline. That is what it is showing, and the sentiment is like showing neutral. The volatility remains at 6.15%, and 50 days SMA is at 3.31, 14-day RSI is at 46.15, 200-day SMA is at 2.94. So all khichdi ban gayi. It's a crazy thing, and I'm really not too happy about the way it is going. Of course, some things I'm sure is not in in our hands, but some things obviously I don't know what's behind the stories, what's behind the scenes. तो मैं अपने व्यूवर्स, ऑडियंसेस को और मेरे खुद के एक्सपीरियंसेस से हमेशा आप लोग को यही सलाह मशवरा, यही एडवाइस देती रहती हूँ, क्योंकि आई हैव सफर्ड माई सेल्फ टू. आई डोंट वांट यू गाइज टू सफर इन दिस. While crypto markets actually can give you good amount of returns or good amount of profits at times, it is very and it is highly unlikely it will continue to give you that, because there will be days, irrespective of whether you like it or not, or whether you want it or not, you will suffer some losses, and that loss probably might not be your own mistake. It might be the result of like I was telling you, the result of what the whale influences put into. Obviously there are so many things, the national newses, the geopolitical newses, the economic newses and things like that are part and parcel of all these things. Other than that, I believe I'm not sure if this is there is also something behind the scenes related to these exchanges and things like that, where they deliberately pump and dump and whatnot they do. I don't know about it, honestly speaking, but this is one very classic example for all of us to learn through it, that nothing in this world is static, nothing in this world is going to remain same or as it is. Nothing is permanent out here. So what you might have got like thousands of dollars in few days, you would have made a lot of profit in few days, but few days will be there, whether or not you like it, whether or not you want it. It will take you through a roller coaster ride where it will basically put you down in every way. Now see this seems so annoying for me, and I really want to talk to these people and really want to understand what has actually made them change this decision. Okay, I can understand that probably at this moment, because of the 233 million worth of SUI actually getting hacked, it might have impacted on a shorter term. But what has made them predict these prices? Like you can see June, it says that the price of SUI is forecasted to decrease to 2.57 following a 9.61% change in the past month. Price prediction suggests a range between 2.27 and 3.22 with an expected value around 2.57. This could lead to a potential loss of 28.47, indicating a bearish sentiment for the month ahead. So you can see how quickly and easily they have changed the prices, and so easily they have said, while just about, I think even 5 days ago it was talking that maybe it will reach $5, it will reach $6 in the month of June, and vice versa. You know, so many things that were talked about. Now when I'm looking at these numbers out here, I feel so irritated myself that how can they tell all this, because I don't see any proper reason to why would they predict this. And if they were actually predicting even before, why were they predicting that? So these reports are definitely very vague to understand and very useless to understand. Trust me, until unless you know why it is moving in a good direction, which means why is it going up or why is it going down. If you have valid reasons for it, then only I think all of us, including me, because I also did this mistake, I'm sure all of us need to make sure that so we have some reason here. Just a sec, let's just read this. What affects the price of SUI crypto? Just like any other asset, the price action of SUI crypto is driven by supply and demand. These dynamics can be influenced by fundamental events such as block reward halvings, hard forks, or new protocol updates. Regulations, adoption by companies and governments, cryptocurrency exchange, hacks, and other real-world assets, real-world events can also affect the price of SUI. The market capitalization of SUI crypto can change significantly in a short period of time. When trying to make SUI crypto forecast, many traders also try to monitor the activity of SUI whales, which are entities and individuals that control large amounts of SUI. Since the SUI crypto market is relatively small compared to traditional markets, whales can single-handedly have a big influence on SUI's crypto price movements. This is why I was telling you that these are very unpredictable things, although we might make all the right kind of decisions. But whenever the whale movements happen and they basically influence the price way too much, so that's where we will be lagging. So all these reasons basically contribute towards the price effects, like block reward halvings, hard forks, and new protocol updates, regulations, adoption by companies and governments, cryptocurrency exchange, hacks, and other real world events. All these things basically impact the overall market. So I think that's what So for some reason, this report seems to be very, very annoying, honestly speaking. And I don't really blame anybody. I don't know what to say about it. But one thing which I want to just reiterate, reading all these things, after that, that nothing in this industry is static. Nothing in this industry is permanent. Nothing in this industry is going to stay permanent. Just about when I was actually making, when although we do all kind of diligence, all kind of, we take all kinds of measures to make sure that we are taking the right kind of decisions, some unpredictable event can actually totally impact your overall performances. Yes, if you are taking advantage of the dollar cost averaging and investing it for a longer term period, that's a different thing altogether. But coming to shorter periods of time, in these markets, especially when you're trading, you're doing intraday trading, it's so difficult to hold on to it, because anything can change within a flip of second. That is what it is. Now imagine just about 3-4 days ago, or in fact 1 week ago also, the price predictions for SUI was like $5, $6 in the month of July. It's going to go like $13, $15. All these were things basically which entices all of us. So all of us get so excited, oh my god, the price is going to shoot up to this level, that level, but I feel these are just part of the marketing tactics or things like that, and then they attract all the people to kind of get into it, and then when we enter into it, this is what it leads you to. So already when we buy it at its highest, then again it rolls back to the cycle, and then again it starts from there. So your money gets stuck into this cycle for quite some time, and then in order for it to recover, it takes a bit of little time. Sometimes it may recover, sometimes it may not recover. It's all totally dependent on how fundamentally the project is strong. So I want you guys, that's the reason I keep reiterating that don't put all your money, because if that is the only money you have in your pocket and you are putting into it, and your money gets stuck for whatever reason, you might be in a very difficult situation. So even if you want to play this whatever thing that it is, I know a lot of whale influences, a lot of whale influences keep impacting these markets. So as small retail investors, small retail investors get affected because of it, and you have to make the right kind of decision whether it is good enough for you to put so much money out there and see if that is actually working out or not working out for you. So that is what something I really want you guys to understand, and not make any kind of hasty decision in terms of just because you're getting some nice good profits out there and just basically regret losing it at some point in time. While you may see that it is you might have earned little profits here and there, but it is very much possible that you might as well lose out on it, and it's not certain at all. So be careful on that aspect, and then that is where the whole scenario is. And trust me, none of these the resources that I keep talking about are to be trusted 100%. All these predictions, they keep changing within split of second. Just imagine, we were not even thinking about any hack that would happen, but that hack has happened, and that hack has actually impacted the overall prices and the performance of the cryptocurrency. So such kind of events, they are going to maybe go crazy. So you see, now again on 30th May, Coinpedia, it says SUI price to hit $5 soon. Is it asking a question? So the live price of SUI crypto is 3.17. The SUI price is expected to reach a high of $7.7 in 2025. With a potential surge, the price may reach 23.77. Now guys, if for example you have spare money, I am not saying that you cannot invest or you cannot trade, but the point here is, if during days where you make a mistake of maybe putting the money for short term, but then you realize that suddenly one unprecedented event has happened, something unforeseen has happened, and that actually is overall impacting your crypto profit or whatever. So in this scenario, there are only two things. One is obviously you need to take calculated risk. If you think that it is not possible for you to hold on that long, then it's better you just exit it at a very early stage. But if it is, second thing is, if it has already reached to a very crucial stage where almost you're having a lot of loss to basically bear, in that scenario I would say two things. One is, like, how important is that money for you? If that money is very, very important, and that without that money you cannot do anything about it, then taking minimal losses and getting out of the market is a good idea. But just in case, if that's the only spare money you have, I mean, if that's spare money and does not impact your overall day-to-day life, the best thing is to hold on. If in case, only hold on. If in case you know that the project has strong fundamentals. I would not even say to hold on for projects which are not strong in fundamentals, because there are so many projects, of course, like meme coins or things like that, which don't have any strong fundamentals behind it. So in that case, it's better to take the exit as soon as possible if in case you're getting losses. But in case if the project is strong enough, then we know that temporary pullback will again reverse the scenario altogether, and overnight, if one hack or negative news has impacted the overall markets, can actually turn the markets upside again. So there's no problem on that front. So SUI, a next gen layer 1 blockchain, is rapidly gaining traction with its focus on scalability, seamless user experience, and Web3 integration via ZK login, now trading at 3.47 with RSI 45.45. I think this is a little old news. I guess it's not trading at 3.476 for sure. So Coinpedia is predicting that the price of SUI can go up to 4.35. See, while the other two are saying it might hit 2.7, 2.5 and all of that. So they are talking it in decreasing term. These people are talking in increasing term, which is basically very, very confusing, honestly speaking. We all have it's all-time high and all-time low, and everything is available. 0.36 was the all-time low on October 19th. SUI price prediction June 2025. As evident from the SUI daily chart, after breaking out of the bearish flag pattern with a daily spike of 16.28% to 4.04, SUI is consolidating in the range of 3.239 while awaiting confirmation to surge to its resistance at 4.09, which could take its price to 4.18. On the downside, it could plummet to 3.55. This definitely is not recent news, because right now SUI is trading at 3.17. So this doesn't associate in any ways. So potential low 3.84, potential average 5.42, potential high at 0.01. SUI price analysis 2026, outlook 26. This is what these reliable resources kind of trap us into by giving us such a rosy picture. And we retail investors, we get so excited about the fact that, oh, it's going to reach that level and it's going to go that level, it's going to happen this way, that way, and then we start putting money into it, investing, trading, whatever, and then boom, this is what it happens. So this is all part and parcel of this industry, where this media hype is always there, where there are these predictions always there. How far those predictions are true, nobody can take guarantee, including me or anybody for that matter, including, I think, sometimes maybe Donald Trump also cannot take any guarantee on that. Reason being, so many people, basically, I'm so sorry that I'm actually yawning way too much. I don't know, something is wrong with me. Either it's because of sleep or because of something else, I'm not too sure. So nobody can take anything like 100%. So even though the predictions come that it is going to hit this, that, but I think this is just, for me, it looks like it's just part and parcel of this industry, where they just media hype it so that they attract the consumers, they attract the investors or the traders, and then once they have a good amount of people getting attracted and coming to them, boom, the bubble burst, and then this is where you land up to. So a lot of people actually, I'm sure all of us, when looking at the technical analysis, looking at the charts and everything, you guys understand that, oh my god, it's so difficult to understand this. What could this mean? What could that mean? Yes, it's good to know and understand basics of it, but not everything is actually required. And I always tell my audiences, because a lot of traders in different ways, they kind of trade, and then they are trading in different manners. They use indicators, some of them use some reliable resources to kind of predict and things like that. So all I'm trying to say is there's no rocket science behind it. It's just a very simple theory of buying low and selling high, and that is where it is. And if you know that logic and what's happening in the media across, if there's positivity, negativity, depending on that, all the informed decisions, you will be able to get into making a lot of profits. But then like as I said, some days are there where it is very unpredictable to kind of judge and say that something will happen or not happen and things like that. And whether you call it your own mistake or you don't call your mistake, you see something happening all of a sudden, you will see, especially I'm sure there are not many retail investors out there, but a majority of it gets influenced by the whale movements only. So whenever the whale movements are happening, it does overall impact the normal retail investors too. So that is what has been happening, and this is what very prevalent is with this crypto industry. So don't get carried by the hype of it and just get into putting the money out there and then later regretting what mistake you have done and things like that. So this is my take on it. probably I might be right or wrong, but based on whatever experience and things that I have suffered or faced, I'm just telling you what you need to do in case you come across some kind of scenarios like this. What is that, best solution that you have that you can do? So that is what my, take on this is. So with a bullish surge, the altcoin may hit a 7.01 this year. But this also is not 100% sure. You can't rely on any of this information. See, it's a SUI price prediction for next 3-5 years. It may reach 23.77. There was a time they were predicting it will go $5, $6, $7 also by May and by June and all of that. Now look at it, what it is. It is trading at 3.17. It's not at all true. So these predictions really don't work. So I think next time all of us has to just read this for the heck of it and not believe in it and then do our things. Maybe just read it for a time pass of us something, but there is no need for us to totally rely on it and then, do things about it. So yeah. So it says, will SUI rise? So it says, with active development on the SUI coin exchange, the crypto token is predicted to outperform some major cryptocurrencies in the coming year. What is the value of one SUI cryptocurrency? At the time of writing, the price of this altcoin was 3.47. How much would the price of SUI be in 2040? 178.84. And again, this is used as information. It says it will reach 178.84 by 2040. See, predictions, everybody can do. In fact, I will also say, oh, it's going to go to $100. What is the backing for it? What is the reason for it? Now, this is where we all lag. I can also say, okay, it will reach $200. Like the way Mr. Eric Trump and Donald Jr. Trump yesterday were just sitting and predicting it, like it will reach 150, 175,000 for the Bitcoin and even 200,000. And I think Eric Trump, or I don't know who was it, whether it was Eric or it was Donald Jr., but one of them said that it will reach moon. But what is the backing for it to say that it will reach moon, right? That is the point that we need to understand. Now somebody coming and telling it will reach this, it will reach that. What is the backing for it? What is the reason behind it? Why will it go to the moon? I mean, I'm sure something very big is planned for it, right? Either there is some whale influences behind it, obviously, which are going to impact the prices of it. Either that is the reason for it, or if there is so much of institutional adoption that's going to happen, then we need to have proper backing for it, proper understanding why it is supposed to go to that level. Now, here, looking at the price predictions for 2025, for example, when it says it will reach $12, $13. So, our question as traders, our questions as investors should be like, why? Why will it go there? Okay. Because nothing is certain out here. We know for a fact that it is basically a prediction, but there must be some logic behind it, right? Like somebody just telling you something doesn't mean it's the ultimate truth or ultimate thing, right? So all we have to do is obviously understand that we have to know what is the backing behind it. If there's somebody that some very influential people too are making such big claims, then we need to ask them what is the reason, what is the idea behind it. Is it really is it really this thing, or it is basically something else that's impacting? I'm so sorry guys, at times I'm like, while I'm talking I actually miss out on your chats. I'm so sorry. Yes, I can see Mohammad Atif has sent me a message. So you're asking me, am I working from home? I think that is your question. So no, I'm not working from home for sure. I'm working from office. This is my office. You can see it. I think you guys know that this is my office. So this is definitely not my home. So on Saturdays and Sundays also I work, right guys? You know it well. So Now, Sui price predictions for 2025. It says that Mistin Labs, the developers behind the Sui network, are venturing into the gaming industry with the upcoming release of their handheld gaming device, the Sui Play OX1. This device will integrate traditional PC gaming with blockchain games available on the Sui network, offering gamers a seamless experience that blends the advantages and benefits of blockchain gaming. Priced at neat at $599, the Sui Play X1 will run on Playtron Game OS and support high-end PC games. This development fuels Sui's network strategy of tapping into the gaming industry, which should spike under activity in the long term. The product will be available in the first half of 2025, further fueling Sui's coin's dream run on the crypto charts. Additionally, with the aim of building a strong gaming network, Sui has recently partnered with Seed to provide a revolutionary experience to 100 million users. Moving into 2025, the Sui network will certainly benefit from increased adoption of the platform and development on the network. Currently, the Sui directly lists over 86 projects built on the ecosystem spanning across payments, DeFi, gaming, stablecoin, and more. Sui has already started bearing the fruits of these projects listing. Recently, Sui had achieved 2 billion DeFi TVL, reflecting a significant churn in the ecosystem, increased demand for the Sui coin for payments and utilities, and overall development of the ecosystem as a whole. Furthermore, Sui recently became the official blockchain partner for One Championship, which is the world's latest martial arts organization. This partnership allows Sui's integration into various interfaces and products of One. This will also include a comic manga series about one athlete accessible through ZK login and powered by the Walrus protocol on Sui, a free-to-play pick them game and powered by the Walrus protocol on Sui, a free to play pickup game. This alliance is sure to boost Sui's coins instability and demand. Additionally, the Sui network stands to gain significant visibility and brand exposure during all of the marquee events by One, broadcasted globally to over 190 countries through partners such as Sky Sports, Disney, Hotstar, and Prime Video, among others. So this is the piece of information for all of us to adhere to kind of make sure we know what is happening with this project. So what is happening in the future, what is happening. So it says they are going to have some partnerships, they're going to have some hardware devices being rolled out, and also it will gain a lot of significant visibility and brand exposure during all of the marquee events. So these are the things that can overall impact the prices, is what it says. So with bolstering partnerships and backing from investors like Grayscale and Venek, we expect the altcoin to continue riding on bullish wave and surpass the $5 price ceiling. However, considering the volatility of cryptocurrencies and limitations of market prediction, investors must exercise caution in making investment decisions. Our Sui prediction for 2025 is 11.5 maximum, 3.44 minimum, and 4.62 average. Same price prediction for Sui in INR is 994.75 maximum, INR 297.56 minimum, and INR 399.63 average. So is Sui a good investment? Yes, the Sui coin is a good investment for more reasons than one. Thanks to its unique move language and parallel transaction processing capabilities, the Sui network holds the potential to become a change maker in the blockchain space. In addition to this, the platform has recently entered into several strategic partnerships with Circle and One Championship, among others. We can expect the usability and the demand of the Sui coin to grow shortly, with the network venturing into the stablecoin space and launching its handheld gaming device, Sui Play OX1. The platform holds plenty of promise, proving to be a good investment option. So will SUI price rise more? Yes, the SUI coin poised to make big gains in the coming bull run of 24-25. Given that SUI network has plenty of opportunities in store, including internet-less transactions, the launch of handheld gaming device SUI Play 0x1 and a sizable 86 projects indirectly, the coin will continue its upward trajectory in the upcoming months. We expect SUI to breach the $5 mark in 2025 and potentially breach the $10 price mark by 2030. Let's just see what will happen on that front. Now coming to CoinDCX blog. So it says the SUI has been one of the most popular tokens which has gained massive attention from users lately. The token has experienced unequal bullish and bearish pressure, suggesting a rise in the traders' activity, hence keeping up the volatility of the tokens. SUI current status, market performance, price analysis, future outlook. Current status it at 3.68, showing a marginal uptick of 0.27%. Price action suggesting stabilization after its April breakout, with candles now forming near the mid-band of the green Gaussian channel, suggesting consolidation with a mild bullish tilt. SUI flipped hype to claim the 11th spot and have surpassed 470 billion in total volume. SUI Foundation swiftly recovered 223 million after a half, boosting investor confidence by ensuring stability and securing its DeFi ecosystem with layer on adoption and positive structural indicators. SUI could benefit from renewed bullish momentum in Q3 2025 unless macroeconomic headwinds intensify. The broader outlook remains cautiously bullish with potential to revisit the $5.50 $6 zone later in the year. if you ask me personally, I would say none of these resources which has predicted previously are giving any valid reasons for it to go up or down. Yes, they say the hardware display is going to be there will be some new partnerships coming up. What is coming up is nothing clear about it. So just going by this information is not at all worth enough to make any kind of decisions, and I really don't encourage any of you to make decisions based on any of this, because this is giving a very vague picture, and to make a very strong decision about anything that we need to do in the future is highly unpredictable, and you should not be taking any risk basis these reports. It's very wrong, and it's very unreliable resource of actually seeing that. So let's just see on YouTube if you have any videos while I'm taking a 5 minutes break. Let's open this and see. I just don't want to take you guys through anything and everything. I want to just take you through some reliable things, because even the reliable resources for that matter are actually can't be trusted. Because see, you remember Coin Codex, Coin DCX, Coin PDA, Coin all of these were predicting it like $5, $6, whatnot. I don't know what was that they were doing. Now suddenly after the hack and whatever has happened in recent, just 2 to 3 days ago only, all of them have changed their opinion, and it seriously is not a good position to be in, and it's really not a good thing, honestly speaking, because even if the news is coming, the news is highly uncertain, and it's unlike to kind of say that whether that will be 100%. So if this actually embarks us on a trust issue, honestly speaking, right now, for me also to believe what they are predicting is actually totally it has shattered my trust too. So I'm sure it might as well shatter your trust too, when you are actually relying on some resources and some information to kind of take some informed decisions. But see, this is what has happened with me too, and it can happen with you guys too. So because there's so much of uncertainty, you have to be careful in terms of not totally believe it. I know their resources keep updating these details on their platforms, articles, videos, and whatnot. But to be 100% sure, nobody is sure. Even with predictions, you kind of take trades, not a good idea. But probably when markets are very negative and it's very low, it's better to buy it at that time and sometimes take the advantage of long-term investing and keep it for some time. But coming to short term, it's a bit difficult because some things out here are highly unpredictable. So let's just watch this video from Coin Bureau and let's see what they have to say. They are also talking about Sui here, so I thought I will play this video.
Dan from Coin Bureau Trading, back at it again with another crypto market update. Today we've got Solana, Sui, and Aptos. I'm sure you're all wondering what's going on with these cryptos. How low are they going to go? When are they going to recover? How high could they go this year? If this is the kind of content that you enjoy, then be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ping that notification bell. Before we get started, do keep in mind that nothing in this video is financial advice. It's just my personal analysis of these crypto projects. Your analysis could be different, and if it is, that's awesome, because the more difference of opinion that we have, the better traders and the better investors we're all going to become. With that being said, guys, I want to start by highlighting something again that a lot of people are missing, especially when the markets are going down. Something that no one is paying attention to is that there's been significant progress on stablecoin regulation in the last few weeks, so I guess over the last 2 or 3 weeks, let's say. It's something I mentioned in previous videos, but it's something that is worth repeating because everyone just seems to be ignoring it. The Senate Banking Committee recently passed the Genius Act. Of course, it still needs to be passed by the Senate as a whole, and then after that it would need to go to the House. In the House, recently the House Committee also passed their stablecoin regulation, which is also going to have to go for a full vote in the House, and then if it gets passed there, then it goes to the Senate. There's probably going to be a little bit of back and forth, but the point being is that progress is being made there, and potentially by the end of the month, I mean, I suspect it'll be probably closer to May, but between basically over the next few weeks, we should get finalized stablecoin regulations. Why am I mentioning this? Because, of course, Solana, Aptos, and Sui are 3 of the top chains for stablecoins, and in terms of growth of stablecoins, they've seen the most growth. And here, another thing worth flagging real quick is that in the shorter term, some of you guys may have heard, the SEC also clarified that most stablecoins are not securities, which is, of course, going to be helpful for stablecoin growth around the margins. But of course, before we see significant stablecoin growth, we're going to need to see those regulations. And again, those are coming in the next couple of weeks here. And I do think that those are going to be the primary demand drivers for these layer 1 cryptos, specifically for Solana, for Sui, and Aptos, and of course also for Ethereum, which is the top chain for stablecoins above and beyond all 3 of these chains. And just to show you guys what I mean here, you might have noticed that the amount of stablecoins on Solana has been climbing quite significantly. It actually spiked around the time that Trump launched his meme coin back in January, and you can see that since that time the stablecoin market cap has basically doubled. Now there's more than $12 billion worth of stablecoins, and this figure continues to climb. I mean, of course, the climb has been a little bit less extreme than it was before, but this figure continues to climb, and that does suggest that we're going to see basically some significant stablecoin. In Solana's ecosystem, namely payments, a lot of stuff around DeFi. Of course, you could say that a lot of the stablecoin growth is people who are maybe just like rotating into stablecoins. That's also possible, of course. But in my view, the main thing to watch for, of course, is going to be DeFi and payments, and there's going to be a lot of stablecoin growth from that. And of course, Sol will benefit because Sol is needed to pay for the transaction fees associated with all of that stablecoin stuff, right? So that brings me to the stablecoin chart here, guys. To the Solana chart here, guys. One thing, I mean, you can just see, like, even without having to draw a trend line, but maybe I will just to make things a little bit clearer for you guys. You can see that quite clearly that Sol has a strong support line here, somewhere around $100. It fell briefly below that the other day. but it is holding that level so far. I do think that level is going to hold. I mean, it kind of has to hold. If it goes any lower than that, then yes, SOL could be entering kind of like a bear market again, let's say. But so long as SOL holds that level, I'm personally not too concerned. And again, we're on the monthly chart here, and it is worth reminding that temporary deviations below these key levels are normal as a result of liquidations and stuff like that. That's what makes trading so frustrating, especially in crypto, is that you'll see a price go below this key level that you were watching and you think it's over, but typically that's just because of a leverage long liquidation. It's not because of organic selling pressure, if that makes any sense. But anyways, guys, as you can see, I have the RSI indicator thrown on here. And one thing I really want to highlight here is that the RSI for Solana right now is at a level that was last seen when SOL was like $20, which is pretty crazy. And of course, as I was arguing in yesterday's video about Cardano, Chainlink, and Algorand, I do think that all these altcoins are going to get one more leg higher in the RSI between now and the end of the cycle. Of course, SOL had a pretty sizable leg higher here earlier in the, last year, went up all the way to 92. So maybe SOL won't go all the way back up, into the 90 handle range, but even to rally, on the RSI terms, even to rally just from the current level, which is around 50, it's pretty oversold on the monthly, arguably, getting into that oversold territory. Even just a rally from that range would translate to a pretty sizable rally in dollar terms. And I do think that personally, SOL is a tricky one, because I do think that some of the market share could be lost to like Sui and Aptos and these Solana competitors, the same way that Ethereum lost market share in the last cycle. Like if it wasn't for all those Ethereum killers, like Avalanche and Harmony and those guys, Ethereum probably would have hit around 10,000 in the previous cycle. But of course, it did get stopped out around I guess it was around 5,000 basically. So a lot of people I think are watching, including me, a lot of people are watching Solana and thinking, this is going to go to, let's say, $1,000. But I think it's possible that SOL will maybe top out at like 500, 550. It really depends. But I just keep thinking, reminding myself of how when I was analyzing Ethereum in the last cycle, I was convinced it was going to 1,000. It didn't get there, and in retrospect, I was like, oh, it's because there was so much, basically so much market share was taken by Ethereum competitors. And in this case, I think we're going to see the same thing happen with Sui and Aptos and other cryptos. So I do think that the cycle top for SOL could be closer to 550, but for the time being, I am, personally, I think it'll get closer to maybe like 900. It'll be either just below 1,000 or over 1,000, especially with the spot ETF and all this stuff. But I am kind of like cognizant that, let's say, on the lower range, as soon as we surpass $500 or $550 roughly in SOL, then anywhere between there and $1,000 would be probably a pretty comfortable level to take profits. And of course, SOL is now around 100, so you'd be looking at around a 5 to 10x potentially, which is not too shabby. And I do think that's a top that's going to be hit sometime over the summer, specifically probably sometime around August or September timeframe. But of course, we're going to have to wait and see how the next few weeks play out. It's been pretty volatile, but honestly, this is not something that's completely unexpected, and I do think that we're going to close the month a little bit better than we are now, let's say around $120. So long as SOL closes this month somewhere around the $120, I think it's completely fine. That'll be a really nice 3 stars in the south pattern that will foreshadow a recovery in May. Anyways, guys, as you might have noticed, we were using Binance there. We have up to 20% trading fee discounts and up to $600 in bonuses. Those are the biggest deals and discounts you can get on Binance, available exclusively through the Coin Bureau. These deals are completely free, and to take advantage of them, all you have to do is click that link down in the description. It'll take you to a page that looks like this. You just enter your email or phone number, and you go through the sign-up process. It takes like 2 minutes, and then you get those deals, up 20% trading fee discount, up to $600 in bonuses. Again, that's completely free. The exchange gets a new user, you get a trading fee discount, and we get a cut of your trading fees. So it's a win-win-win for everyone. So be sure to take advantage of that deal using the link in the description before it's gone. Anyways, guys, moving on now, working on the same idea of the stablecoins. Look at what's been going on Sui. You can see that the stablecoin market cap has been exploding. I think it's increased, let's say, I don't know, by 30% or 40% over the last few weeks here, which is pretty impressive. Of course, most of that has come from USDC, and I think that the stablecoin market cap there would have been even higher were it not for all the FUD around FDUSD, which I'm not going to get into the details on, all the FUD that's going on there, like not being sufficiently backed or whatever, and all this. It's just who cares? Basically, point being, guys, is that this figure would be even higher were it not for some recent FUD around a different stablecoin. But regardless, I think the thing to watch here is that the USDC growth over the last month has been 51%, which is pretty crazy. And of course, course, USDC is kind of emerging as the top stablecoin in DeFi for payments, stuff like that, which of course that foreshadows a lot of, again, like payments and DeFi activity in SUI, either upcoming or already happening. But point being, guys, that you can see that just SUI's support of stablecoins has been growing gradually. I guess not as exponential necessarily as Solana, but it is clearly catching up. And in terms of growth, specifically for USDC, SUI is one of the fastest growing chains for USDC growth. So that's something to keep in mind. And of course, that brings me to the SUI chart here, and this is where things get very interesting. So in contrast to most altcoins, SUI already had a pretty sizable rally. Again, not looking so much at the price, but on the RSI, and of course we're on the monthly again. SUI already had a pretty sizable rally on the RSI all the way up to 90. So the chances that SUI would go even higher than that and like goes, I don't know, somewhere to the 90 handle range, higher than that, I think is a little bit doubtful. But again, from the current level, which is, entering almost oversold territory, the last time SUI was at this level on the RSI, it was down at around, 60 cents. So it was like 4x it was around 4x lower than it is now. So the idea that SUI, even with the RSI growth, let's say, I don't know, back up to the 70 handle range, let's say, hypothetically, even the growth from that level, that would still translate to a pretty sizable rally. And I do think that SUI is going to be hitting at least $10 as a cycle top sometime over the summer. Any members of the Coin Bureau Club will know that my personal target for SUI for a cycle top is somewhere closer to almost $20. The reason I believe SUI could get that big is not so much that it's like a top competitor to Solana, but more so that SUI falls into the GameFi narrative, which we haven't really seen take off yet. So if SUI is, let's say, I don't know, in a 1 or 2 months time, let's say SUI is somewhere back around $4, and the GameFi narrative still hasn't taken off yet, then logically that suggests that SUI could still go a lot higher from those levels because it would get caught up in that narrative, kind of like how we saw in the previous cycle with metaverse stuff, if you guys remember that. There was a lot of cryptos in the metaverse niche that had already rallied quite a bit, but the metaverse niche hadn't really taken center stage, and once it did, those cryptos went up like another 10x on top of where they were, right? So I do think that of all these three cryptos, SUI has the highest potential to surprise to the upside. But in terms of the biggest gains, I do think that's going to come potentially from Aptos. So this again is another thing that a lot of people are, they're not paying attention to. They're just looking at Aptos' price and thinking it's over. The price just looks horrible, which it does. I'm not going to deny that. But at the same time, it's worth pointing out, guys, that the amount of stable coins on Aptos is actually more than on SUI. Just let that sink in. So SUI, which is substantially larger than Aptos and has gotten a lot more traction, let's say, it has a smaller stablecoin market cap than Aptos does. And you can see that in Aptos' case, the growth of USDC has been even bigger, around 86%, of course, rate of change, right? So it's, that's part of it. Most of the stablecoins on Aptos are USDT. But regardless, guys, you can see that the stablecoin growth here on Aptos has been just absolutely enormous from both from USDT and from USDC. And that tells me again is that Aptos is either positioning for payments or DeFi or something along that line, or it's already kind of starting. But I do think, of course, the best is yet to come. Let's say so again. All three of these charts, whether it's for Solana or SUI or Aptos, all three of these stablecoin charts are telling me that things are looking more and more bullish beneath the surface, despite what the short-term price action has everyone feeling and believing. Right. Eventually, these cryptos will recover and will rally to new highs. Where those highs are, that's up for debate. But again, I do think that these highs are going to be a lot higher than people expect, especially in the case of something like Aptos. So this brings me to the Aptos charts, guys. And as you can see, there isn't really too much to say here. I guess the only thing that's worth pointing out is that Aptos on the RSI has never gotten above an 80 handle, at least not yet. Maybe it did back, when it initially launched. It probably did, but of course the price history doesn't go back that far. And of course we're on the monthly again, in case you're wondering. Let's see, to the untrained eye, you look at the Aptos' price, you look at the RSI, and you think this thing just looks dead. It looks horrible. It looks like it's never going to grow. But again, it's crazy that consider that I think Aptos's market cap is something like 2.3 or 2.6 billion, and there's $1 billion of stable coins on its chain. Like that should be a sign, right? It's like if the amount of stable coins is like half the market cap, like I'm not saying it accounts for half the market cap, but if the there's like, if you take the ratio, let's say, of the market cap for Solana or Ethereum relative to the amount of stable coins on the chain, like in Aptos's case, it's just like, it's massive, right? As a percentage of Aptos's market cap, which is, that's a little bit of a, let's say, a deviation that tells you that maybe Aptos is a little bit undervalued here at the very least. But anyways, guys, what's really interesting to me is, again, that the RSI has not been able to really break this 80 handle range, at least over the last couple of years. And what that suggests is that, again, like, from this level, pretty oversold, let's say somewhere in the 40 range for the RSI, for it to go all the way into the 90 range, like you could see an explosive rally. And I do personally believe, guys, that Aptos is probably going to get, I would say at the very least, somewhere to around $50. Because again, like from a 2.6 or 2.5 billion market cap to get up somewhere into the 30 billion market cap range for a crypto like Aptos, I think would be pretty reasonable, pretty normal. And I do think it could go even higher than that, somewhere up into the 90 or 100 billion, or sorry, into the 90 or $100 range. I do think that's, that $100 is something that a lot of people are going to be watching, which again, I guess you could tie it into what I was saying earlier about Ethereum, is that if most Aptos holders are watching $100 as the target, the same way that most Ethereum holders were watching 10,000 as the target in the previous cycle, then yeah, maybe Aptos will top out somewhere, I don't know, $50, $55, $60, really front running that as a result of competition from Sui, as a result of competition from other, even Base, right, which is another, it's an Ethereum layer 2 from Coinbase that has a lot of stable coins on it as well. And so, Aptos could see some competition from there when we're speaking purely through a stablecoin lens. But the point being, guys, is that, when I look at these charts, it's like, especially for Aptos, I'll be completely honest, guys, when I see a chart like Aptos, these are my favorite charts. Why? Because everyone who wanted to sell has already sold. Like, anyone who's been holding on through this entire time, the only people left are diamond hands, and people assume, oh, like, everyone who's just been holding through this range, they're going to sell as soon as it pumps. Well, if they didn't sell back here, and they didn't sell back here, and they didn't sell back here, they're probably not going to sell when Aptos gets back into that range. They're probably going to keep holding. Basically, the only people left holding Aptos at this stage are basically, insiders and hardcore believers. And you could say, well, that's pretty brutal because there's no new buyers coming in, and that's true. But at the same time, the dynamics here, it's not like something like Solana where a lot of people aped in around the top. It's not like something like Sui where a lot of people aped in around the top. Here, there was just like no one was really aping in. It was just, probably people who are true believers in Aptos who have either been accumulating. Maybe they did ape in around like these local tops. But Aptos still hasn't really seen its growth yet. So again, as I've been saying it in every video about these three cryptos, and I'll say it again, Aptos has the highest potential to surprise to the upside of these cryptos, or sorry, has the highest potential in percentage terms. I would say Sui has the highest potential to surprise to the upside, if that makes any sense, like to exceed expectations. That's definitely Sui. But in Aptos' case, in terms of percentage returns, I do think it has the highest of the three, simply because it's just been basically consolidating for almost 2 years. And of course, you guys will know that by now, because I've been repeating it in almost every single video. But yeah, guys, it's really interesting. Again, don't sleep on the stablecoin stuff. There are other chains, of course, that are seeing stablecoin growth. But if you actually look, I think it's Ethereum, Base, which is a layer 2 and doesn't have its own token. And then besides that, it's Solana, Sui, Aptos, and then like Toncoin, and I think also Avalanche as of recently. But like that's basically it. Like these are the top chains for stablecoins, and the stablecoin market cap continues to grow. So something to keep in mind in the coming, especially in the coming weeks as stablecoin regulations get passed. All of these three cryptos are going to benefit from that significantly, and you definitely don't want to be sleeping on that, to say the least. Anyways, guys, if you did make it this far, then be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, ping that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one.
So I have, hi Trading Ninja. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for joining the stream. Yeah, so, like I always mention that basically everybody has their own set of, some people totally believe in it. Like for example, if I have to talk about myself as particularly, I'm too optimistic about it, reason being because of its strong fundamentals. So I know for a fact that it's too volatile. the price movements are crazy, especially for SUI when we observe the way it is performing. Like, you know, within a split of second, you see the whales entering, the whales exiting. It's a crazy world altogether. I totally get you and totally agree with that fact. But I think that is what the good thing about getting into trading is, right? When you want to trade and you want to make profits at a shorter term, you know, it's important that the crypto is also volatile at the same time, because a slow movement crypto can never give you the kind of kick that you're supposed to get. So for me, I feel like it has to be, of course, it has to be a volatile one, so that I get the kind of you know, ups and downs that I want to see, so that I can take multiple positions at different times and different zones and all together. So that's the reason I like to keep things which are like little more volatile on that front, and then go for it. So I know it's a bit riskier at the same time. The more volatile it is, the more riskier it is, but that's what we would like to see, right? There are days when a SUI actually sees a very, you know, plain kind of a thing, like not so volatile. There are days when the market is not so volatile for SUI, of course. So, I don't know. I mean, if you are trading already, maybe what kind of tokens do you trade in? So, are you currently trading right now on all these things? Because I am actually, you know, I think more than 2 to 5% should not be in any case. I think that also is very high, honestly speaking. Reason being, if the amount or the volume of your trade is very big, 2 to 5% can also be a very significant amount. But that totally depends on you. How much you think is your capacity. So if in case you are trading with a very minimal amount, and for you taking certain losses, like for example, for me, maybe even up to $5-10, or you know, maybe up to $20 would be okay with me. For example, I'm just giving you a hypothetical example. But if people who are trading in thousands of dollars, like they invest thousands and thousands of dollars, so 5% of that particular amount can be very significant loss too. So that totally depends. But on the whole, 1 to 2% or anything between 1 to 5% is a, you know, a good recommendation. That's what I can say. But that is totally subjective to you and your capacity of taking the loss. So what may seem minimalistic for me may seem a big thing for you, and vice versa. So it's not something that I can tell you that yes, you can take that kind of risk. So if probably your amount is very big, it totally depends on you. What do you want to do with, you know, probably you want to take a 1% loss, 2% loss. That's totally up to you what you want to do. So yeah, so SUI at the moment, I know it's not at all in a good shape. I'm sure all the predictions back about in 1 week ago was all about, you know, it reaching its $5 high, $6 high and whatnot. But just about on 22nd May, when we saw this hack on CETUS protocol, we are seeing that the market is just going crazy. You see, like, look at the kind of volatility this particular token has. Just see this kind of, you know, let's just measure how much was that move for actually. It is really crazy thing actually to watch. And at times oh, I didn't place it correctly, sorry. At times I'm myself shocked, like I just entered the market and then suddenly I see the whale movements happening. So this is very crazy with SUI, of course. Maybe when we do analysis of the other cryptocurrencies, we'll be able to judge that as well. No, I'm not taking the right measurement. Just a sec. Wait, yeah, I need to take it again. Okay. See this was a crazy movement, almost 6% downfall, just about, with a fraction of what was the time frame on it. 30th of May is just between 2045. Then we have a, no, I'm not able to see. Let me just remove this. I need to see the candles. 2030, 2025, 15, 10. So this is just about in 15 minutes movement that we could see the price is like shooted crazy, like 6% down, imagine. And based on whatever analysis, observations I've done, I believe there are more of institutional investing in this. Like you can see the big drops and the big plunges or the plummets that keep happening. They are very great in number. Like you see this move here, which is, I think, yeah, prior to this movement too, we could see it was almost, I think this is also a very big movement, to be honest. Almost 5% down, just about in 15 minutes. So no doubt, I totally agree with you, Trading Ninja, that the volatility with SUI is like crazy out there, and definitely, especially of late, I have seen probably since I started trading in SUI, I really didn't see that kind of a thing. But of late, yes, I'm observing it way too much, where I can see that it is just going crazy. Like even you can see there is a sudden spike. The major driving factor for SUI, of course, is basically the whales that are entering and exiting. So it has major impacts. You can see that is drawing the prices up and down crazily. So so whatever we aim for, of late, I have observed that, of course, for sure, that within a time frame of say 5-10 minutes were not achievable, and then some of them were seeing a very downside, like sideways rally that was happening. So I think overall it was a very unrealistic and very unpredictable movement that we could see. And how has it been draining it? How has it been draining out is something, sometimes it's really unpredictable, and really like sometimes I too don't have it, the comments to say what can I say about it. Because imagine, like, even if for a second, whatever the negative news happens, they happen for a time period, they happen for a certain amount of time. But what about the times when the market is like so volatile at this, like when we look at this movement here? Now you see the price has gone down, like between these candles from here, being the high, it's gone down till here. So this was also almost a 4% move, okay? This was almost like it's a combination of buying and selling pressure, though the sellers were very strong in this scenario. even in fact in the previous scenario they were very strong. That's why we could see like 6% decline obviously. And here also you can see there's a strong selling pressure out here. Although some of the buyers tried to take the hold back, but they really couldn't do. The buying on that front also kept being strong, but then it was not to that extent that it could actually hold the overall pressure. So that's why we could see that there was a strong decline, almost 4 to 5% of decline out there. So I'm sure, including me, all of us are really panicking for the fact that whatever recent past, whatever the negative aspects of it has happened is actually taking us through this roller coaster thing, you know, a bit of emotional ride that we are all into. But I'm still not panicking. I'm still optimistic about the fact, though it may seem like at this moment the price is like really very crazy at this moment, but still my hopes and my optimism is there towards this, and I do have hope that it will recover. It just need some kind of backing on that front, like, you know, something strong coming up. Yes, few negative things have hampered its overall potential to grow. It could have further grown the way that it was predicted, that it could reach $5, $6 and whatever. It could have done that, but it has not done because of whatever negative things have happened. But yes, still I am optimistic about the fact that it will continue to grow. This is, you know, what I believe in. So I haven't really put my indicators today. I don't know why did I not put it. Let me just put it how it is. So here you go. So on smaller time frames, it's at 40, whereas on bigger time frames at 35. I'm sure all you guys do this same thing when you are analyzing it. So it's at 39.62 on 30 minutes time frame. On the 15 minutes time frame, it's at 46.12. So the price can still rally down. Let me remove one of the indicators and try to put Fibonacci here. Let's see if I'm able to. I'm removing MACD too. Let's just put Fibonacci and see if there will be any kind of buying position that we can have, or if it's in the so based on these points at the moment, obviously the price is not at all in the retracement phase. It's already at 0.23, so here the selling pressure is very high. So the price is likely to go further down because all the other indicators too are indicating the same thing. RSI being at 46.42 handle. Of course, it has to reach the oversold territory, right? Like the 30 points territory or below that. So it still has a lot of potential. Of course, this is a 15 minutes candle, but let's just see on the bigger time frames. The bigger time frames also, if we see, it's still at 0.23, so it's not able to retrace back for sure. So it has already gone down significantly, and it is definitely not at the retracement zone. On the 45 minutes time frame too, we can see even on the RSI indicator, it's not going that down, and here also it's in the zero zone, so nothing much on that front too. So I think on the smaller time frames we might have some kind of even on the smaller time frames, it doesn't justify, honestly speaking. See, this is what I keep talking about. If the movement takes, it takes a very big movement, and if it doesn't, it doesn't take at all. So these whales out here are too influential in this matter, and they are playing big time with this, and trust me, one thing which I totally also agree for a fact, also I'm going to just tell you from my own experiences, is because it's good to, you know, keep yourself updated about all the news that's happening across, but having to rely totally on the fact that it's going to be the ultimate thing, that's something that we actually need to watch out. So that's something we need to be aware of. Like right now, you see the kind of movement that it is taking. Again, it's a very big whale movement. Of course, if we measure it on the scale, it's almost it's almost like 0.84%, which is like almost 1%. But if I analyze, this is on the 5 minutes time frame, but what about the 15 minutes time frame and then 30 minutes time frame too? 45 minutes. So different time frames are actually giving us a different scenario altogether. So what really matters here is whenever you're entering the position, first thing is obviously to understand if the price is retracing back from the zone that it has to retrace on the Fibonacci, and then in case you're not too sure of, independently using Fibonacci, then there is obviously RSI that you need to confirm it. And each indicator out there is never, independent enough to give us the right kind of information that we need, because we need to, of course, see the other aspects of it, which is very important, like to check the RSI reaching at different levels at the different time frames, which is very, very important. And that's why you realize, like, on every different time frame, it's actually behaving in certain direction altogether. And what may seem like an oversold territory for me at a different time zone may not seem to be the oversold territory for a different one. So that's what we need to analyze, and we need to understand. Two things which are very important on the Fibonacci: if the price is retracing back from the 0.6, 0.5 level, or if the price is further shooting down, then we are sure on the Fibonacci that it's going to further go down. But coming towards the RSI, maybe we need to understand that what time frame are you actually looking at? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever it is. Depending on that, analyzing it through like maybe different time zones, and then making sure that you enter the market at the right time. So in most of the cases, if all the like at one point in time, at the same time, all the time frames will not give you the accurate information. But what may seem very close to you is something that you need to pick up, and that's where you can actually enter into the position. Like in this case, for example, if I put 45 minutes time frame, my RSI was below, it was at 20. Now the same thing, if I put it on a 30 minutes frame, my RSI at that point in time also, I think, was at somewhere between 20, 22. So not much of a difference between the 30 minutes time frame and the 45 minutes time frame. But coming to the Coming to 15 minutes time frame, it's 26.19. So you see, there's a slight difference, not much of it, but then there's a slight difference out there. So it's here also it's at 26.57. Then on the 10 minutes time frame, if I talk about 26.25, this is at 18. So the overall scenario, the overall time frame completely changes, and that is how it looks like. So whichever is close to you, especially at the oversold territory, that should be your point of entry. So I think we learned a great deal of things about the previous in the previous video. I'll play a small video on SUI as I keep analyzing this, because we are almost heading towards the end of the session, or probably I might play this in the upcoming session at 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Dubai time. So let's just see. Let's just continue this in the next coming session. Of course, the previous video that I played from the Coin Bureau, there was a bit of good information, I believe. So despite of all the setbacks, despite of all the pullbacks that we see on whether it's to do with Solana, Ethereum, or to do with SUI as well, there's always a major comeback that's always there with this, because of whatever technological developments it kind of takes, and the kind of partnerships it enters into, the kind of projects it is involved into. And of course, not to forget, for SUI, there is also hardware, hardware display, or hardware, it's out there in the market, that is there for all of us to use. So many things that keep coming, like the products related to them, or some new project coming related to it, something getting developed on their platform and things like that. So the more adoption and the more users it has, it definitely is there, even after the small turn, even after the small setback, there's always a thing which it will come back. So let's be optimistic of the fact that maybe at the moment the prices are slightly acting funny, but then we will be having some good days that will be coming ahead of us. So with 1st June being the it's basically what do you call, it's basically the token unlocking days, especially for Sui during 1st June, like 1st of every month, there's token unlocks that happens on Sui network. So chances are for the coming few days between first, second or the first week of June, you might as well see that the prices are going to go, go down further. Probably it might hit the benchmark of like less than $3. It might reach to 2.97 or more, lesser than that, which is a very much greater possibility. So not to worry on that front, guys. I know crypto markets are highly volatile, and especially when it comes to Sui, if you guys are investing like I do, be cautious of the fact that there can be a movement of even 6 to 8% in one, just about in 10-15 minutes, and that's where it will lead to. So whenever you are making any decisions, those decisions have to be informed decisions, and they have to be calculated decisions. More than anything else, I would say your calculated decisions have to be very strong. So if in case you're entering a target buy price, you need to understand that if the market fluctuates from there between anything like from 8% to say even 20-30%, either an upside or a downside, which is very much possible, especially with Sui, given that we have seen it live with the kind of movements it's actually seeing. So you need to have those informed decisions and calculated risk in order to make that decision. So that's all from my side, guys, for this session. I think we covered a bit of good piece of information here and there, catching snippets from everywhere. And I do want you guys to keep yourself updated about everything that's happening on the crypto front. Like, not just learning trading, not just learning about investing as a product, but also to keep yourself updated about everything that's happening on your project. So if you are invested in Solana, you need to know what's happening on Solana's front, like what projects are they coming up with, what positive, negative things are happening across Solana's project. So these kind of things overall impacts your calculated decisions and your informed decisions. So be aware of that, keep yourself safe and stay protected. And to reiterate, nothing in these videos or streams that I talk about is any financial advice or an investment advice. So please do your own research before you get into any of the cryptocurrency trading or investing activities, because crypto markets are highly volatile and you can lose out on all the money that you have. So be careful on that front and only invest that much which you think you can afford to lose. So with that note, I am actually signing off. My name is Nida Afreen, and I will see you between 3 to 5 streaming again, bringing about lot more new topics, lot more new things to discuss, and we will definitely talk about a lot more other different projects. So thank you so much for joining in, and thanks for being so patient. I will see you between 3 to 5 Dubai time. Take care and have a great day ahead.